Well, hello. I'm so glad you joined me in my office. I hope that you realize that maybe you didn't study quite as much for that test as you should have, or you missed some key pieces. Either way, we're going to have a retest on Wednesday, which is going to give you, no, not Wednesday, Monday, which if you take a moment and watch this video, I think that we should point out some important things that you need to read about. So what I've done is I pull the questions that the most people missed, and one of them, I take full credit for y'all missing it. However, it's still really important. So I'm going to first show you, this is the book, Electronic Media, and one of the things that's really important to understand is that all radio stations operate in the public interest, and they all have to obtain a license from the FCC. And one of the big things the FCC does is give people licenses. And if you recall, there was a question on the test that specifically asked, give me 3 qualifications to own a station. I think like one person got that right. So that means there's a little extra reading y'all might have to do. And I didn't realize that I briefly went through the television chapter and couldn't find it in the TV chapter. However, Chapter 9, Business and Ownership, there's the section, and I'm going to show you this page. But you see it says, see it now, and it says ownership of stations. So right there is all the information you need to read about to find out what kind of qualifications you need to be able to apply for a license. And if you can read that and remember at least 3 of those, you'll have a good chunk of points for your, it's not really a retest, so I'm just going to add this to the test. So those people who studied and did well, you're just going to have a whole bunch of extra credit points that you can push over to either the next test or the final. So some other things that y'all really need to read about are the media effects chapter. This is the media effects chapter right here. And you'll notice that there's a picture of the Bobo doll experiment. So the media effects chapter, which is chapter 13, there's an important piece of information on the 2-step flow process, which I have a feeling that I'm going to ask that question again. But let's say you don't want to look through this whole chapter. Another resource that you guys really need to understand how to use, and I know it's going away in the wonderful world of the internet, is this thing here. It's called the index. And in the index, if I wanted to look up media theories, I could either look up theories, and it's in alphabetical order, Q, R, S, and I'm looking, there's a lot of television here. No theory, so maybe I will look at, oh no, there's theory, definition of, magic bullet, persuasion, propaganda, and it has the page numbers with it. And I will also look up the 2-step flow process, because it is not a dance move. Oh, and look, here it is in your index under 2-step flow theory. And it has a page number to it, 254. But you should try out looking at it in your index, especially if you have a different edition than I have here. But so if I look on page 254, somewhere around here, I'm going to find out about the 2-step flow process. So you need to go in and read these. This is under, it looks like the last paragraph here talks about the 2-step flow process, and it goes up to the next paragraph at the top. I'm going to explain cable, broadcast, local affiliate one more time. Are you ready? So a cable network is a network that you can only get on cable TV. A broadcast network, you can get it on cable TV, or you can put an antenna on your house and you can pick it up off the air. because it is broadcasting. So that's a broadcast network. You find broadcast networks on cable, but you never find cable networks broadcasting, because it's the broadcast networks that have to use an affiliate to broadcast to your home, and the broadcast network uses the FCC. Needs to get that license from the FCC. What are the ownership qualifications? I don't know. Hopefully you do now. And of course we all know that Nielsen is the company that collects data for ratings data for television stations. I know you guys all know that. And we also know that Senator McCarthy was a crazy man who did a lot of stuff about blacklisting. And one more thing, the Telecommunications Act of 1996. How can we find out where that might be in our book? Even though we've talked about it, and I know it's in the television section, but I can look up Telecommunications Act of 1966, and I see a bazillion different page numbers under here. So remember, you have to be able to tell me one thing that the Telecommunications Act of 1996 did. Oh, and the other question, digital TV. Come on, people. Come on. That was in the television section. It talks about going to wonderful digital TV, which you guys are all used to, but it hasn't been around for all that long. And it's in the See It Now area in television. Right in here, it tells you when we left the NTSC system and went to ATSC, because a lot of people got that wrong on the ordering question, which I don't know if I'm going to throw that on this retake or not. Anyhow, study, listen to this video, read your book, write out some answers if you can't remember them. And I'm going to go eat dinner.